Hey guys, how are you doing? So, whether you are a physiotherapist, occupational therapist, biomedical scientist, nurse, radiographer, or whatever else, and you want to work in the NHS, one of the biggest questions in your mind would be what would be my take home pay, or what is the pay at the end of the day that I would have in my bank account? And this is a very valid question. So, if you are interested in this content, please watch this video to the end. But before we begin this content, I would just like to say that if you are confused about what is your annual pay, and if you would like to know the different levels of annual pay for each band level within the NHS, please do not forget to check out this video where I've explained all of this. And I think it's a must that you watch this video before even seeing this video that you are right now. But another question would be, Nikita, what are bands and what are you talking about? What is this levels of pay within the NHS? And I would say that if you are confused about that and if you are unsure about which band of jobs do you need to apply for as an internationally trained medical professional, please don't forget to check out this video where I've explained all of that in detail, but diving right into today's content. So the first thing when you think about getting a take home pay is you need to understand four key terms. So the first term is your gross income. Now the gross income is actually your annual pay, that is your overall pay within the NHS without any deductions or taxes being cut. The second term that you should be concerned about is income tax. So the income tax is something that is charged by the HMRC, and this can be directly deducted from your tax. So you don't need to stress about it, especially if you are employed within the NHS. Now, when you think about income tax, there are several brackets of income tax levels that you need to be aware about that will be deducted. So let's just see what these are. So if you have an income of less than 12,570, you will pay 0% of income tax. But if your income is between 12,571 to 50,270, you will pay a tax rate of 20%. Now, if you have a higher income, say between 50,271 to 1,50,000 pounds, you will pay a tax rate of 40%. And anything over this amount pays a whooping tax rate of 45%. Now, obviously, you need to be aware that if you live in Scotland, these income tax rates may look slightly different. So don't forget to check this out, and I'm going to leave the link for this in the description box below. The second most important deduction for you from your gross pay would be the NI, that is the national insurance. Now, as you all know, NI is a mandatory requirement for you to be working within the UK. So whenever you come into the UK, I would highly recommend that you definitely go ahead and apply for the NI. So you would say, oh, Nikita, okay, what is NI? So NI stands for National Insurance. Now, the National Insurance actually covers a few things under it. So your monthly payment of whatever amount it is actually covers a significant amount of allowances for you. So let's just see what they are. So the first thing is the basic state pension. Then you have the additional state pension. You also have job seekers allowance, employment and support allowance, maternity allowance, and bereavement support payment. So as you can see, all of your monthly contributions which actually be able to pay you out in case you fall under any of these allowance categories in the future. And finally, coming down to the NHS pension. Now, if you are aware that the NHS has a very generous pension contribution in which we are expected to put 9.3% of our annual income, and the NHS then will help you to build your pension pot so that you can access it once you have retired. So that is all about all of the key terms for this video. Now let's just dive in and see all of the numbers that you should be aware about. So just before we begin, I would just like to say that I've picked up few bands and few key pay point areas just so that you are aware of what you will be earning. I'm not going to go into detail about all of the other bands and all of the other levels, but these are a few that I think would be relevant to majority of us. So let's see what they are. The first band that I will be talking about is a band 4. Now, this is in case you have not received your HCPC registration and are planning to work as a rehabilitation assistant, healthcare assistant, physiotherapist assistant, occupational therapist assistant. If you are going to work at a band 4 level, let's see what your pay rates are going to be. So you will earn a yearly gross income of 22,549, and at each month your gross income would be 1,879. Your NHS pension would be £93, your NI contribution would be £97, and your income tax would be £147. So at the end of the month, your total take-home pay would be somewhere around 1,540. Now, obviously, these figures are very rough and they're very gross. So I'm not going to be putting in a lot of decimal points in it, but this is the rough pay that you would be taking home at the end of the month, which is around 1,540. So now coming to band 5. Now in terms of band 5 itself is divided into 3 pay points. So if you have anywhere less than 2 years of experience, you are under pay point 1. If you have between 2 to 5 years of experience, you are within pay point 2, and anything over 5 years of experience is pay point 3. So let's just see what is pay point 1's total income at the end of the month. So if you are at a band 5, your yearly gross income is 25,655 and the gross income monthly is 2,137. So you will be paying an NHS pension of £106 per month, and your NI contribution would be £130, and your total income tax at the end of the month would be £196. So you will be taking home a pay of £1,704. If you are liking this video so far and if it has given you any useful information, please do not forget to hit the like button for this video and subscribe to my channel if it's your first time here. But moving straight ahead into the next pay points. Now, if you are an NHS Band 5 Pay Point 2 employee, this is what your pay scales would look like. So you would have a yearly gross income of 27,780, and your gross income for the month would be 2,315. The NHS pension that you will be paying would be £115. Your NI contribution would be £152, and you would be paying income tax of about £230. So your monthly take-home pay would be £1,816. So all of this was about band 5, and I'm not going to be talking about the pay point level 3 within the band 5. But moving on to the band 6, where we will be discussing all of the 3 pay point levels. So the first pay point level, that is for anybody who is a band 6 with less than 2 years of experience, this is what your NHS take-home salary is going to look like. So you would have a yearly gross income of 32,306, and your gross income monthly would be 2,692. You would be paying an NHS pension of £134, and your NI contribution would be £200, and your income tax for the month would be £302. So your take home pay would be £2,055. Now, if you are in the pay point 2 within the band 6 level, that is between 2 to 5 years of experience, this is what your pay package would look like. So you would be earning an annual income of 34,172, and your gross income would be 2,847. Your NHS pension for the month would be £142, and your NI contribution would be £219, and your taxes for the month would be £331. And so at the end of the month, you would have a take-home pay of £2,154. Now, if you are at a band 6 level pay point 3, that is greater than 5 years of experience, this is what your take-home will be at the end of the month. So you would be earning an annual income of £39,027, and your gross income for the month would be £3,252. Now your deductions would be NHS pension £162, NI contributions £270, taxes £480, and your total take home for the month would be £2,410. Now, all of this was about band 6, but say you progress to a band 7. So again, like I've explained before, there would be around 3 pay points, but for this video, I'm just going to take the first pay point just to give you a brief example. So at the first pay point, your yearly gross income would be £40,057. The gross income for the month would be £3,338. The NHS pension would be £166. The NI contribution would be £281, and the taxes would be £224. So at the end of the month, you will be taking £2,465. So that's it for today's video. I hope that it gave you a really brief understanding about all of the pay structures within the NHS and what would be your take-home pay. And if you liked it, do not forget to hit the like button for this video. Take care, guys. Thank you for watching it. Bye-bye.